What's up everyone and welcome back to Pop Beat Breakdowns. Today's beat breakdown is in the style of Lauv. This is an artist who's been very inspirational to my own type of production, so I always enjoy doing these beat breakdowns when it's in the Lauv style, kind of like an indie pop. Now for today's beat breakdown video, as always guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you smash the subscribe button. This is the best way to support the channel. All the plugins I use and break down in this video will be linked in the comment and the description if you want to check out these plugins for yourself after the video. But with that all set aside guys, you know the rules. We're going into this production now. Let's have a listen first and then let's break it down. Okay, so with all these productions, the order that all these tracks are added is the order they were actually added when I built it up. This will hopefully give you a good understanding of how I built the project up, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and process throughout as I remember when I built this, so you get the best understanding of how you can do this for yourself. So there's always this one initial source of inspiration that I always build a track around. I like to go into Splice sometimes, and sometimes I like to create them myself. Today was a Splice one, and I went into Splice and I found this guitar sample which started off this whole production. So it's a picked muted acoustic guitar, very pretty, very loud, very characteristic of his music that he likes to do. And I thought the best thing to do would be able to first build a drum beat around it. So this is the drum beat that I composed together. So for the drums today, obviously I always group everything into one bus, so then you can mix all of the drums together. As you can see here, we've got nothing fancy going on. For the drums today, we use a Contact, and we use the Beat 'em Down Urban Beats loops for the hi-hat and the kick and snare. Then we've got a couple of loops here. We've got a shaker loop, and we've got a percussive block loop. Both of these found in Splice. Just I had a little look around and they both came to nicely. Now with the shaker and the percussion, we've got them split to the sides in the mix here with the sample delay. Now they're both sample delayed to the left, and that is because the hi-hats are sample delayed to the right. This means we get a good spread in the stereo production of the drums. And then when it comes to mixing, we've just got nothing fancy. We've got an EQ with a channel with a high boost and a low boost. And then we've got a compressor in the SSL Comp by Solid State Logic. I like to use this sometime for the West Master bus. It just glues the drums together in a really nice way. So that is on there. And again, the link will be in the description below if you want to check out this plugin for yourself. Let's have a quick listen to see what it does as well, so you can actually hear what it's doing. So this is with, and this is without. As you can hear, it brings a lot more presence to the drums, and it also adds that little bit more punch and snap at the same time. A nice colour, I would say, is the best way to describe it and summarise it all together. Then we're moving on to the 808s for the bass. Now we're using Alchemy for the bass today, and it's the deep 808 bass with a slight roll off on the attack to get this really nice sounding low subby bass. Very simple. So now we're getting to more of the ideas where we've got the rhythm section built, we've got the guitar. Let's have a listen to what we've got so far. Okay, so with that all said, I wanted to kind of start looking for new fresh inspiration. At this point, you kind of just go off and just have a look around your sound banks, your libraries, and see what works for you. There wasn't any sort of like method to the next instrument that I chose here. I just had a look around and I ended up in Omnisphere, looked through the keyboards, and I found the Rhodesy Guitarette, I think is the best way to call it. And with that, I also added my favorite plugin at the moment, the Abbey Road Saturator. So let's have a listen to see what this sounds like altogether. This melody just came into my head as I played it at the same time, so it all gelled together. And the saturator just adds this real nice colour and brightness to this. So without the saturator, this is what it sounds like. And this is with. It just adds in the brightness, the highs, like just adds something that makes it sound a lot more interesting. And I just love what it did. Again, there's no technical aspect to why I added this. I just love chucking this plugin on. Like genuinely, like it's been so much fun to use this plugin recently. It's not something that improves mixes or anything. It's just something that adds a different color to an already existing sound. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun using the Abbey Road Saturator on that, and I just chucked it straight in, didn't even change any presets, so that was fun. So I kept this in because I feel like it added that kind of like really nice synthetic quality that you get in Lauv productions. Then next I stayed in Omnisphere and I found this really cool, it's called Edison's Rhodes, but then I added the arpeggiator onto it as well, doing 1/16, and it ended up creating this really interesting sound, which I was just experimenting with at the time, but it just worked, and we're just playing the chords here for the song. Just sounded interesting. With this, it just makes the whole production move, and it's covering the synthetic quality really well. And it just sounded different, and I love different, so I just chucked it in there. So when you have everything so far, all of a sudden the production's starting to sound a lot more complete. Okay, so at this point now, I want to try and think more about the chorus, because I think everything I've done in the production so far, this will cover anything for the verse and the pre's. There's a nice bit of depth to this production, so it's all about just adding to these ideas now. So I had 2 more ideas to add. The first one was piano. Now, for those of you who watch my channel all the time, you know, when you do piano, do 2 tracks, do left hand and right hand. Someone to lay the left hand to the right and the right hand to the left, or vice versa. Doesn't matter, but it gives you this really nice stereo spread in the piano, and basically it's just a simple piano pattern. But it adds just a little bit of energy, a little bit of a stamp, more bass, like just adds a lot of stuff when it gets to the chorus. And as you can see throughout the production, it only plays in the chorus, this piano. Just adds to the production basically more than anything. And then I also added in this other bass, which I only played in the choruses, and also added as a development in the second verse and the pre-chorus. I just went into Logic and I just found this bass and I thought, hey, it'd be cool to add just something different. It just helps with the rhythm section a little bit more, gives a little bit more bounce if you listen. Well, I'll play with and without. Without, with. Again, it's subtle, but I'm all about subtleties when it comes to production. It can really help overall sound of a production and really cut through and sound good. Then lastly, we've just got our FX here, which is, you know, pretty standard. We've got some white noise and we've just got a crash, which we've reversed as well, this crash here. If you want to know how to reverse it, is Command-Shift-R. That's how you can reverse any audio. So when it gets to the pre-chorus, obviously it cuts down the white noise, but then it reverses, means it's a riser, and it cuts out. And then this crash really helps stamp the chorus in. Okay, when it comes to mastering, we've kept it very simple today. We've got 2 Waves plugins here, which I absolutely love using these side by side when it comes to mastering, because it really helps the production. Firstly, let's have a listen to the production without and then with, and then I'll tell you what everything is doing. So this is without the mastering chain, and then with. There's just a lot more loudness and a lot more clarity that's brought to it. Now, the first thing I added was the Abbey Road TG mastering. I absolutely love this mastering plugin. Some of the presets are so good, and I decided to put in Make It Pop just to see what that would sound like. And it added this real nice lift to the production and added a little bit more space and clarity. That's something to do with like everything that's going on here. We've got limiter, we've got tones, filters. So yes, I really like the Abbey Road TG mastering. Highly recommend it. Link is in the bio if you want to check that out, by the way. And then I added the L316. I add this at the end of every single mastering chain because this really sorts out the loudness on my projects. And it also, the Dave Darlington Beautiful Mastering is my favorite preset on any plugin at all. Whenever I add this to the end of a mastering chain, at this point, I've already got the mastering almost how I want it to sound. So this preset, I know for a fact is going to add whatever is lacking. And I just love it. It's such a great plugin. And yeah, I'm all for it. And again, link in the bio if you want to check this one out as well. These 2 mastering plugins are basically now my go-to when it comes to mastering. So I use them in basically every single project now. So just if you want to know that information, if it helps you in some way, I hope it does. So yeah, guys, this is the production. Let's just have a listen to it one more time. So there you go, guys. That's how to make a beat in the style of Lauv. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash the subscribe button, as it's the best way to support the channel. Link in my bio for every single plugin that I've used in this video if you want to check them out. And of course, guys, keep making music, and I will see you in the next video.